Welcome to ZKast, everyone. I'm ZS Caraval from ZK Research, and I'm inside the expo hall at AWS reInvent in Las Vegas. And look who I ran into. It's Vijoy Pandey from Cisco's Outshift group. And what are you doing here at reInvent?
Well, everybody seems to be here right now, right? And great to run into you. I mean, this is such a busy place right now, and there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
And the world is moving towards agentic, and there's been a ton of announcements as well.
Yeah, there's been a lot of announcements, and I know Cisco, in fact, is a big sponsor of this event. And I just watched your presentation on agentic AI, and I want to talk to you about that. But first, I'm not sure everybody knows who the Outshift group within Cisco is. So can you talk a little bit about what that is and what you do?
Yeah, so Outshift is an internal group. Think of it as an internal incubator within Cisco. So we build products that take Cisco into adjacent markets. And we are typically talking to new personas, both user and buyer personas, and we innovate across the product lifecycle. So from ideation to product delivery, to go-to-market, to customer success. And then we work with the BUs to figure out how to scale this out once it's successful.
Now, Cisco has a lot of products, innovate in a bunch of ways, but what are some of the products that have come out of Outshift?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So if you think about Cisco, yes, innovation is happening everywhere in Cisco. In fact, it's happening in steroids right now.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that happen across networking, security, observability, collaboration. So the way we think about Outshift is we are looking at problem statements that are adjacent. And so, for example, one of the problems that we went after is cloud security and cloud native security and application security and API security. So these are problems that are in the security space, but they are a little bit adjacent to where Cisco is currently. And so we work with Tom Gillis and the team, and G2 of course, and to make sure that these capabilities actually are first launched and get customer traction and then make their way back into the products that Cisco sells.
Okay, that makes sense. Now you were here talking about agentic AI, and in fact we're in the Gen AI innovation area at AWS. It's a big topic here. It's a big focus in the keynote yesterday. And in fact, your talk was on agentic AI. And so for people maybe who aren't familiar with agentic AI, what is that?
Yeah, so think about agents as foundation model based software entities and robotic entities that actually behave and feel like smart humans, like subject matter experts.
Yeah.
And so agents are, very simply put, pieces of software or pieces of hardware that have agency, that can take action on your behalf. And they're based on foundation models. Typically, we think of them as large language based, but large language models are not the only models that are out there. There could be agents that are based on scientific and mathematical models. So you'll have AlphaFold or evolutionary science based models that are doing protein folding or molecule combination for material science and discovering new materials. And they do these things by actually taking input from humans, but actually producing output and taking action on their behalf. So there's a lot of agency that is inbuilt in agents.
Yeah, and so I've thought of them in some ways as a co-worker versus a co-pilot. It's not an assistant, but it truly can act as a co-worker, advise me what to do, it can guide me in what to do, and really, like I said, act as a true co-worker. Is that a good way to think about it?
Yeah, so co-workers is where you would start, and then just like a co-worker gets better and better over time, and they would take action on their own. Think of agents as a co-worker that can actually take pretty good action.
Yes. Now, one of the problems that I foresee here, and you talked about it in your presentation, is every vendor is building their own agent. And I was talking with one of the Amazon customers about this, and I said, because he referenced the fact that Salesforce has one, Teams has one, right? They're building them in their own applications. And I said, what happens when you live in a world where I'm running 100 applications and I've got 100 different agents? And there's no agent of agents, right? And he said he visions a future where you basically have this tapestry of agents and you have to navigate your way through them. And I said, that's a terrible way to work, especially as these things become proactive. And so is this our future?
So this is our future. I mean, if you go back to the basic definition of a co-worker or a subject matter expert, I mean, you will go to 10 subject matter experts and that team will collaborate to solve a problem for you. So that tapestry is actually going to happen.
But a lot of them don't work together today. My Salesforce agent doesn't talk to my Adobe agent.
That's right. And I think what's going to happen is there is a need for a platform that allows for agent-to-agent communication and a platform that allows for agent to human to agent collaboration as well, because humans are going to be in the loop for a long, long time.
Yeah.
We're not going to replace humans for a long time. So can we build that platform, that internet, that allows for this tapestry of agents and humans to come together, collaborate, and solve for business needs? And that's what the talk was about, and that's what we're going to build.
Yeah, and so you came up with this concept called the Internet of Agents. And so how would that work? Would there be one sort of, from a Lord of the Rings analogy, one agent to rule them all, or are we to completely democratize? How do these agents talk to each other?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. And I think both of those options are valid options, and we could actually go either way. So there's a fork in the road right now, and we want to make sure that this Internet of Agents is actually built the same way that the original Internet was built, that Cisco pioneered and built 40 years ago in an open and interoperable manner. Because you can have walled gardens, and you can have an overarching agent that actually goes through and makes sure that this is a walled garden. But that walled garden actually does not derive maximal value for every entity.
Well, that's the whole network effect.
That's
right?
the whole
The value of a network is equal to the square of the number of nodes connected.
Right, right. And so we would want value for the vendor, for the developer, for the operator, for the customer, which is critical. And so we want to build this in an open and interoperable way, where you don't have that Lord of the Rings agent, super agent that is actually managing everything, but you do it in a more distributed manner.
So as we move down this path of agentic agents, does the network effect still hold? That
100%.
Okay.
The network effects hold, and I think it is almost a necessity because, like you said, there's going to be a tapestry of agents from different vendors, from different organizations, from different verticals that need to come together to solve a business need. You'll have AlphaFold and OpenAI and robotic entities coming together to do drug discovery. And so if you do things like that, if you think of a future like that, it needs to be multi-vendor, it needs to be heterogeneous, and needs to have that network effect. And we need to build an open and interoperable system and internet to make that happen.
Okay, so advice to the vendor community out there is insist on interoperability, right? And to the users, I guess, what advice can you give to them, the customers buying these solutions today?
So what I would say is stress on interoperability, stress on openness, because there's value in it for you as a customer, as a developer, there's value in it for you. And you should push your vendors to be open and interoperable and work with us. We are actually trying to define that right now in an open way. So come to us, talk to us, and let's make it happen.
Yeah, and I think historically, a lot of the vendor community, and honestly, Cisco included in this sometimes, believes almost that the walled garden helps protect your base. But if you look at any industry, I don't care what it is, dating back to the birth of computing, when things are open and interoperable, it creates a rising tide for everyone and a much bigger pie.
That's correct. And I think that's where the value comes in for every entity in that ecosystem. And you're right, I mean, everything starts off closed. In fact, my favorite history lesson that I keep telling people is, remember AOL.
Yes.
AOL was a walled garden.
It was,
And now
where are
the
they
internet,
now?
where are they now? And so we need to start on the right foot right away.
Okay, so don't be an AOL.
Don't be an AOL.
Yeah, all right. And if people want to learn more about Outshift,
go to outshift.com and talk to me, talk to us.
All right. So anything else you want to add?
No, I think it's an exciting time. It's the right time to make this happen, and it's happening quicker than you expected. So let's get going.
Okay, so I'll let you get back to the 50,000 of the people that are here. So,
thank you, sir.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me. So, on behalf of Vijoy Pandey from Outshift at Cisco, I'm ZS Caravallo from ZK Research, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the ZKast, and I'll see you next time on the next episode.